Hey, Shalom, double honors the apostle, great millstone. Honest, your brothers will be pushing this truth in sincerity throughout the four corners of the earth. Okay, all praises unto Yahweh Hashem outside. And I'm gonna do a quick video now, dealing with how you've got a shift, geopolitical power shift, okay, an economic power shift towards the east. Okay, and that's all within prophecy. Okay, that's all within the scriptures. Okay, it's all been listed down and written within the scriptures, and it was prophesied. And we always go into this. Prophecy means to say before the thing comes to pass. And pretty much Yahweh Hashem outside got the men of the Lord in the former times to write these different things, these different geopolitical things that you're seeing happen throughout the four corners of the earth. The Lord had it to where the men of the Lord, prophets like Jeremiah, Ezekiel, Isaiah, to write it thousands and thousands of years before it was played out. Which goes to show you there ain't no such thing as free will. Because all of these people are talking about their own free will. They ain't doing nothing but fulfill their own destiny. And for Esau, the powers that be right now, that is to move in a direction to their destruction. Okay, you go into the scriptures. What did it say? Okay, how the Most High pretty much is going to do away with Edom, man. Okay, now without much further ado, let me get into this article right quick and get into these different prophecies. So start off with a scripture in the book of Ezekiel, the 38th chapter, and some verse says, "Be thou prepared." In fact, let's go up a little bit. Okay, and get the fullness of that scripture. Okay, so this is Ezekiel 38 and 4, 38 and 3, and says, "And say thus, the Lord, behold, I am against thee, O God, right, the chief prince of Meshach and Tubal, and I return thee back." Okay, so the Most High was going to raise up this guy, right? He's going to drag him out into this war. We know it's World War 3, right? And oh God, the chief prince of Meshach and Tubal, and I'll put thee back hooks into that, and I'll bring thee forth from all thine armies. This is a horseman. That's what you're seeing right now. Okay, Russia, along with China, along with Iran, okay, joining up, linking up. For what? For battle. Doing all types of military enterprises, what they call drills, out there within these different oceans and in these different regions. They're getting ready for war. Okay, so the scriptures here is being fulfilled. So it says, "And all thine army and horsemen, and horses and horsemen, right, and all of them clothed with all sorts of armors." Okay, even a great company. And that's what you're seeing. It's a large amount of people. We're talking about China, the large multitude of force that they got out there. It's a lot of people. Russians involved, Iranians involved. It's like a whole gang of people. So it's a multitude of people. Even a great company with bucklers and shields, right, and all sorts, handling swords. Persia, that's the Iranians. Ethiopians, as you're going to see within this article. Okay, you're going to have there's pretty much support for Putin out there, throughout them Hamitic lands like Egypt, and I know the Arabs is involved in there, but these regions here, you got a massive support for a pro-Russian sentiment being pushed out there. Okay, and you're gonna see the fulfillment of this scripture within the article I got. It says, "And Libya with them, all sorts with helmets and shields." So what's the modern day helmets and shields? Okay, that S4 was the S400 air defense missile, air defense missile system. Okay, if I'm quoting it right, that Russia's been providing these countries with, man. So they're saying, like, hold on a minute, we've been a victim to this aerial attack that the American Edomite has been propagating throughout our lands. Well, look, the Russians now, they're supplying us with the S400, S400, I forget the exact name, with the defense against that, and they're also pushing an agenda that's beneficial to our economy and our people. Let's side with the Russians. Okay, so goes on to say, Gomer and all of his band in the house of Togamore in the north quarters, and all their bands, and many people with them. Okay, be thou prepared and prepare thyself, and all thy companies that are assembled unto thee, be thou on guard unto. Okay, so let's go into these two articles, mind you, and let's see what's going to be talking about. So this is Russia Insider. Okay, I'm doing this on the fly, so usually what I would like to do at this minute is to pull up corroborating evidence. Okay, but we'll just go with this article for now. Okay, so it says there pro-Putin graffiti appears in Catalonia, Barcelona, Berlin, Paris. Okay, and it's not just these countries in China. Okay, that's the Moabites out there in China. They're putting up them pro-Putin graffiti up. Okay, they're showing their support for this dude. I believe it was the dude's birthday or something like that. And you're seeing that they're manifesting their support for this dude now. Okay, they're showing their love for him because guess what? He's prepared himself, and he's prepared all of his bands, which is the people that he has a vested interest in. Okay, that eastern shift. Okay, that you're seeing throughout the global economic stratosphere, right? Market, whatever you want to call it. He's the guy for it, and people are showing their support, man. Okay, so he's saying in China, Vietnam, India, Brazil, Venezuela, and many, many more. By far, the majority of the world's population, most of the third world, he is a massive hero. I'm gonna read that again because that goes to show you how these devils feel, how these people feel about guys like Trump and all of these cats on here. Okay, so it says, and by far the majority of the world's population, most of the third world, he is a massive hero. Okay, because they had America pretty much ransack their cities, take all of their goodies, and people are getting tired of that, man. They're tired of that. So they're like, look, we need change, like, we need something new. And that eastern shift, okay, with the uprising of Russia, joining up with China, joining up with Iran, okay, the Gulf Stream, 2 pipeline, all of these different things that are happening is letting people know, like, look, we ain't gonna do it by way of the dollar anymore, man. We could do it another way. You go out there into them certain African countries, okay? Them African countries, they're using the Chinese yuan. Okay, now that might seem like a side note that's irrelevant, but when you realize what that's really saying is that so-called dollar reserve currency, that's no more, because China being supported by Russia, okay? China being supported by Russia has allowed their dominance to be spread throughout the 4 corners of the earth. Without that support, China wouldn't be doing a damn thing. Now, they'll do a few bits and pieces over here and there, but with that support now, you're going to where all of these so-called African countries that were once impoverished, well, China's going all up in there, because if China knows if they got the backing of the Russian government, okay. Let's carry on with this. It says the man has serious support, mind you, right, around the world. Okay, many of them are wishing him a happy birthday. And why is it that no American president of recent memory would inspire this sort of thing? And the book of Isaiah, the 14th chapter, goes into that. He has smote the people with a continual stroke. Okay, you can't expect no good to come out of, raping, robbing, and murdering. Look what the American government did to Iran, what they're trying to do out there within Syria. Okay, they've taken and they're gonna reap off of the works that they put in. Okay, which is the hate of these different nations, man. Okay, so now let me go into article number 2, and this is this goes more into a little bit what we're talking about. So it says, is this geopolitical shift? Is this the geopolitical shift of the century? And we know ultimately America ain't gonna allow that to happen. So what they're gonna do is they're gonna fight, and that's beautiful. Does not the scripture say, if Satan's house be divided up against himself, how shall it stand? But the scripture says it ain't gonna stand. Okay, this division within this, this division that you have between Esau's nations, man. Okay, right, between the Edomites in Russia and the Edomites out there in Europe and the Edomites out there within America. That schism that you have between them, you read about the history of the Greeks, the Ptolemies and the Seleucids, all right, and how they was always fighting up against each other. This is the same thing happening again. One wanting dominant over, one wanting dominance over the other one. This is the same thing happening again. Okay, but that whole schism is going to lead to their demise, man. It's going to lead to their destruction. So it says, is this the geopolitical shift of the century? It says, in stark contrast to the difficult relationship, right, of the West with the Arab world, Moscow seems to be playing the regional power game at a higher level, and that's what's been happening, man. Okay, they've been watching how the dollar and America have been used to basically rape these countries. You check out the real meaning of that word rape, then you will know what I'm talking about. Okay, it says the geopolitical reality in the Middle East is changing dramatically. Okay, the impact of the Arab Spring, right, which the American government set up, the reaction of the U.S. military, and the diminishing economic influence of the Arab world as displayed during the Obama administration are facts. Okay, because what they tried to do was drive down the price of, drive down the economic advancement of Russia by driving down the price of oil. But that also affected them Saudi Arabian nations. So they said, you know what? We're not just losing, we're not going to get L's on account of diminishing Russian advancements when we can not only can we sell oil to the Russians, they're going to be the same support, if not more so, than the American government. Okay, so it says, as displaying during the Obama administration's facts. Okay, so it says the emergence of the Russian, Iranian, Turkish triangle is a new reality. The Western hegemony in the MENA region has ended. Okay, this is not in a shy way, but with a long list of military conflicts and destabilization. It says the first visit of the Saudi Arabian king to Russia shows the growing power of Russia in the Middle East. And that was a big thing, man. You know, that was a big thing. You know, I should have really did a video on it. You know, I posted the article in a group chat, you know, but Spirit had it to where, you know, other brothers did videos on that, which is a beautiful thing. So it says, so it says, it goes on to say, it shows also that not only Arab countries such as Saudi Arabia and the United Arab Emirates, but also Egypt. Remember we was reading about Ethiopia and all of that? Egypt and Libya, all right? We was reading about that in the scriptures. Are more likely to consider Moscow as a strategic ally, okay? So I'm not going to read too much more of that. I'm not going to read any more of that. Let's read this actually, this paragraph here. So it says, U.S. allies, okay, Saudi Arabia, Egypt, and Turkey, and even the United Arab Emirates, right, have shown an increased eagerness to develop military and economic relationships with Moscow. Okay, even if this means dealing with a global power currently supporting, right, their arch enemy, Iran. Okay, right, and we know Iran is going to play a major part in that too. Okay, with the growing powerhouse that is Russia, you're going to see a growing powerhouse that is Iran, and consequently, the Israelis, which is nothing but a military base for the American government within the Middle East, the Israelis, they're going to feel some type of way about that. And that's where things get very interesting as pertaining to the World War III. Scripture talks about how the least shall draw them out. So hopefully that was of edification. You can check these articles out for your own self on the Russian Insider. Okay, apologies, I didn't have no corroborating evidence. You know, I usually like having this kind of video where there's so much being talked about. I like having, you know, supporting evidence, and usually it's about 40 odd minutes or whatever. But hopefully that'll do the trick. I'll say, all praise unto Yahweh Shemi Al Shai. Double honest, the apostles, a great millstone, and honest you brothers that be pushing this truth in sincerity. Lord's will we get to do this again some other time. Shalom.